Welcome back, levelers. You're tuned in to High Level Chronicles, where we explore the dank intersection of video games, cannabis, entertainment, whatever it may be. I'm your host, Chris. With me, as always, my partner in crime, Paul. What's good, man?
Hey man, how's it going? I just got back from vacation. Went
Nice.
down the Wintergreen Mountains in Virginia.
Wintergreen Mountains. What is that?
Well, Wintergreen is the resort. It's in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So it's like a ski resort, and it's for my father-in-law's 70th birthday. So went down there, saw the nieces and nephews and family and stuff. So that was a good time. It was off season, so like no one was there. So all the kind of summer stuff they had at the ski resort was like open with mini
Is it like
golf.
Deep Creek?
It's a lot like Deep Creek. There was a lake there. There was some like hiking trails, but this is more of like a look how high up we are in the air, because there's a couple lookouts and you just see the Blue Ridge Mountains go on forever. Deep Creek Lake is more like focused on the lake.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like
for
all the
sure.
little things around it. But no, it was a good time. It was in like Southern Virginia, good time.
Nice.
How about you, man?
And you ever been to the Smoky Mountains?
I think that's in North Carolina. Have not
Tennessee?
gone down there.
Tennessee, Smoky Mountain, Pigeon Forge. Yeah, it's a nice area, man. If you like mountains and all that, especially Christmas, I've always wanted to go at Christmas time because it looks beautiful, like during that time of year.
Yeah, apparently the Blue Ridge Mountains, they go all the way down to Alabama and all the way north to like New York, I think. So they cut like right through Maryland, but like where they really bunch up is, I think the Smoky Mountains might be part of that.
Yeah, because I think I
and
remember traveling the
yeah.
Blue Ridge Parkway going there, so it would make sense. But that whole area is beautiful. I mean, just the whole. I know you can kind of drive like towards the top of for like just different states. So
Oh
crazy
yeah,
how.
I mean you can just see for miles, and it does. I don't know if it's an optical illusion or what, but it does look kind of blue. Like I understand why they have the name, even though it's just a lot
Yeah,
like
man,
forest cover.
I've been chilling. Did some stents in the hospital. Have an infection, whatever. All right, whatever. Moving on with that. But yeah, man, I had tickets lined up and everything to go see the new Alien Romulus with the wife,
Oh
and
yeah. Mm-hmm.
did never make it. Had to cancel. Luckily, with Warehouse Cinemas, man, you can, as long as just the movie hasn't started, you can get a refund on your tickets. I don't know if you know that or not.
No, I know
Yeah,
you.
if you have an account, like a Warehouse account or whatever, you can get a refund. And yeah, so we'll go see it again. But yeah, man, just been working on the new studio here at the house. It's been my thing since I haven't been able to get in the pool this year. Really haven't had a good summer with enjoying the pool because I have an infection going on. So, but it gave me time to do some shit inside, working on the studio. So hopefully soon, levels, you're gonna see we got some of it up right now, working on it. Still got a lot to do, but
I know,
doing
man. When you
something
send
new
me
here.
pictures of updates, I get excited. I was like, shit, this is looking really nice.
Yeah, man, working on it. We'll get there. We'll get this going, and can't wait to see what the future brings for us. But let's get into today's episode, man. It's all about edibles. Actually, you know what? Before we get into today's episode, we got to do what we always do, man. It's time for Leveled Up. So, levelers, hit us up, highlevelchronicles.com or at HLC Podcast 420 on any of your favorite social media apps. Let us know what you're leveling up on this week. What are you consuming? What games are you leveling up on your screens? What show you binging out there? Maybe a movie you've seen lately. Paul, actually, you know what? Let's do it different. Why don't you kick us off this week with what the levelers are saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got a few. I was looking at them. Looks like a fun time. So first one was at Major Pain 39. He says, I've been diving deep into Black Myth Wukong. Have you seen that or heard of
My
it?
God, dude, I want to play it so bad, but I'm still on Elden Ring, and I'm late to the party with Elden Ring.
Dude, I feel the same way. Oh yes. I'm late to it, and now this new one's out.
But Black Myth Wukong looks so amazing. Like I'm in a group online called Over 40 Gamers, and they're all playing it. And it's just like they're all talking about how hard it is, and then people jump in and be like, "Have you ever played a Souls game?" And then they're like, "Oh, well, this doesn't compare to that." But everybody's talking about it. They say it's tough. Like it's still like can be Elden Ring tough. There's no difficulty setting, but just the graphics, just it looks immersive. Like one of those I just like to immerse myself in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it
No.
definitely looks good. Do I really want to drop another $70 right now when I'm still trying to get Elden Ring? Then this will take away my time. And I'm like, and I've still got my other games I play. You know what I'm saying? I still got my Dead by Daylight, my Overwatch 2.
Mm.
But I'll get into my stuff when we get on. But yeah, it's just, yeah, it looks great though. It
I'll
looks
buy
great.
it when the price drops and no one's interested in it anymore. Seems to be my MO. But hey, he's been enjoying that with some 100 milligram edibles.
Oh, you talking my language, boy. What's up?
The combination of indica dominant gummy and game's intense atmosphere, chef's kiss, absolutely immersive. That
Nice.
that is a combination with the indica gummies with 100 milligrams
Yeah, and that's riding out
Wuhan.
the whole time he's playing.
Oh yeah,
Woo! That sounds fun. Man.
nice. Sounds like a good time. So next we have at James K says I've been diving into Red Dead Redemption 2 again. But this time with some wild berry gummies from my local dispensary. It's like being in a Western movie, but everything is a little more vibrant.
Ooh. That's another one I was late to. Red Dead Redemption 2. I just never thought I'd like it, and started playing it too. Just not talking about. I just it's hard for me to get into it. I don't know why. Like I'm into the game, but it's just I keep going back to Elden Ring.
Yeah, I've seen people play it. I've heard good things. I was like, I'm sure I would enjoy it, but haven't gotten to it yet. And then last but not least, we have at Little Uzi Bing said, I've been smoking on some Purple Kush and watching House on Netflix. They keep dropping banger after banger.
How?
What is Kaos? Do you know?
Spell it.
Kaos?
Oh, Chaos. That's that new Greek show on Netflix. The guy from Jurassic Park. Remember the guy from Jurassic Park with the guy with the glasses, like nerd guy?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He's the lead in that movie. He's like, it's all about Greek mythology. It's the different gods and stuff, is what it is.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it looks really good. It just came out like I guess a week ago or so, a week or two ago. It just came out recently, so I
I
haven't got a
watched
chance to look at it.
Blood of Zeus. Have you seen that on Netflix?
Mm-mm.
It's animated. But it's like for adults and goes into a guy who's kind of like a Hercules like character, and he's half god, half mortal, and he's doing all these things to live with the gods, and the gods are fighting the Titans, and it's pretty intense. I haven't seen it in a
Nice.
while, but it was a good time.
Nice choices, levelers. Paul, what about you, bro? What have you been leveling up on?
Well, we've talked about it. Elden Ring. I've been watching some. I don't know if they're new shows, but they're shows that are kind of new to me. One is Kevin Can Go Fuck Himself. Have you seen
Heard about
that?
that. I saw something recently for that.
Do you ever watch Schitt's Creek? Well, first off, I highly recommend Schitt's Creek. It's pretty good. There's an actress on there, and she is. Have you ever watched King of Queens?
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a take on that, like the Kevin from Kevin of King of Queens, but it's like this happy 3 camera sitcom, goofy husband with the hot wife, and like the hijinks there, but then like her point of view where it's like very dark and like dramatic, and she's just like kind of like anxious and depressed, and it kind of goes back and forth through like how everyone else is just having this like funny, dumb conversations, but like it impacts her in like a negative way. So it's like a dark comedy kind of thing. So I don't know. I've only watched an episode or two, but it looks interesting. And I've been chewing on some Encore chocolates, sea salt caramel gummy, or not gummies, they're
There's
chocolates.
the chocolates. Yeah, I love those. I love them. They have them in
Yeah,
the high dose, which is what I like. I do. Shout out to my boy with the 100 milligram. That's what I like to be about 80. 80 is about my golden number for me to feel good.
God, I hear there's a Do you watch a lot of comedians?
Some
What's
I
up?
have a few that I stay up with.
Do you know Tom Segura? His last special came out where he was partying with a guy who always tries to get him too high. He's like, I'm 10 milligram Tom. 10 milligrams. I'm there. I'm chilling. I'm having a good time. And this guy gave him, he took 500 and then gave him 100 and like kind of kidnapped him. It's this whole crazy story. I don't want to give too much away if you all watch a special, which I recommend. But it's like guys out there taking 500 milligrams and
Right?
then I don't know. It's a lot, but
Well, I went and saw a comedian in Frederick. I guess it was last year. It's Allen. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's actually from the DC area, but he came in. He told a big. It was at the Cellar Door. They do those comedies Sunday nights. Real fun time.
yeah,
And he talked about how he accidentally ate 300 milligrams, and everything happened. That's another skit. You just have to look. You can look it up on YouTube. But
yeah.
yeah,
Let the
funny as
spaceship
hell.
come and just beam you up for that. Just
Yep, absolutely.
yeah. No, I
Nice,
used to
man.
date a girl who did comedy at the Cellar Door,
Nice.
but yeah, it's a good time down there. I haven't been in a while though.
Well, man, as for me, I'll tell you, I've been a little late to the party with everything, games, movies, whatever it may be. But started watching that show, Supercell. It's based out of London. It takes place in the UK. Have you seen that on Netflix? Like people all of a sudden realize they have powers, superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
Like one guy figures out he's like the Flash, like he can just run and like be in anywhere in a matter of seconds. And then one guy has super strength. One can teleport. One saw the future, and that's how like it's awesome if you like those kinds of shows. If you like the the superpower hero, it's like they even make reference to like they're the new Marvel group, they're the new Avenger, like we're the new Avengers guys. It's a good show. Pairing that up with some Super Mac flour, flowers.
Okay. No.
Love that Super Mac, perfect 50-50. And also, playing the Elden Ring, but it's been all about the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 beta for me, man. Ooh, that game. Anybody's played the beta, let me know your thoughts. Those new Omni movements, completely different than anything Call of Duty's ever done.
What is an Omni movement?
So your movement now, regular Call of Duty, right? You've played Call of Duty. Yeah.
Right.
You can dive forward, right? Now you can dive left, right, backwards, and all while shooting and turning any direction that you want. You can lay on your back, and I mean, it's like you actually have like full control, like a person would have in real life. Like,
Right.
you have, and you can run. You can strafe left and right, but also sprint strafe now left and right, like you would be able to in real life. Never been able to do that with Call of Duty. It's been basic mechanics pretty much since day one, except for the shittiest Call of Duty that came out where you could climb walls and hang on walls and all that stuff. I don't remember which one was that one. Oh, it was horrible. Like it reminded me of Titanfall. Did you ever play Titanfall where you had the mechs and like you could get in the
It sounds
mechs?
familiar, but I don't know if I played it or just saw it.
Yeah, Titanfall was awesome, but Call of Duty tried to pull a Titanfall because Titanfall came out and was so popular. And the next one they introduced those mechanics where you could glide on walls by just like holding down the button and you would slide along the wall. Too futuristic for Call of Duty. It didn't last. That I don't even remember which one that was. God, I'm too high right now. But yeah, the new Omni movements is awesome. It has a lot of new features. With the moves, everything is just, and even for a beta, everything's pretty smooth. Everything's been real crisp. Everything. So I'm excited. I mean, I've had to pre-order it, so figure I'll play the beta. If I didn't like it, I just get my money back on Steam. But I like it, so
Nice.
I've been all about it. It's different. The whole movement thing's different. And I almost thought time to go to keyboard and mouse because I'm on controller, even though I'm on PC. But no, I didn't make that jump yet. But I think it would be a lot easier on keyboard and mouse with those Omni movements than it is on a controller to hit too many. On the controller, you have to hit like 3 buttons.
Yeah, like a combo
to
stuff.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, where on the keyboard and mouse, you could just hit whatever, and then you're there. So
yeah, that's what I like
tell.
about PC gaming, man. There's so many things you can do with it.
All right, man. What do you say? Let's jump into today's topic. Edibles.
Right, absolutely.
They're a whole different ballgame, aren't they? I mean,
oh yeah.
I think let's start with the basics for our listeners who might be new to edible scene. But let me break down why edibles hit differently compared to smoking. So when you smoke or vape or whatever, cannabis, the THC is absorbed through your lungs and hits your bloodstream pretty fast, right? I mean, it's pretty much instantly. So when you eat an edible, that's got to go through your digestive system before it even gets into your bloodstream. That means it's metabolized by your liver, then your liver converts THC into 11-hydroxy-THC, which is like THC on steroids. It's like a lot more potent. So that's why edibles tend to hit harder and last longer than smoking. High is different. You know what I mean? It's more of a body high. It's more intense, but it can take anywhere from, depending on if you ate recently, how much you ate, what you ate, 30 minutes to 2 hours, sometimes longer to kick in. You know what I mean? And then that also depends on your own personal metabolism. what's it's like. So, hey,
Yeah. I mean, it can be 6 to 8 hours, sometimes even longer, depending on the dose, depending on how you metabolize it. Everybody is different. So, I've had people say that they can't really get high on, like from like smoking a blunt or a vaporizer, but edibles is like the only way that they get like a truly like chill, euphoric kind of feeling.
and there's some people that can't get high off edibles because they have
Mhm.
a certain enzyme in their body that breaks down that compound to where it doesn't even become useful, or essentially it cuts out 90% of the effect of it. So you're really not feeling anything. So I think that's why so many people get caught off guard with edibles. They'll eat a gummy, a brownie, whatever it may be, wait like 20 minutes and be like, shit, ain't nothing happening. And then bam, 2 hours later, they're staring at the ceiling, shit, every single one of their life choices. I mean,
That's the common mistake. I feel like there's so many stories out there. And I certainly have my own of like, this is weak. I don't feel anything. I'm gonna take another one. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, I have taken too much. I was
I
actually
mean,
telling
we've
that
all
to,
been there.
yeah, well, yeah. And so when my wife, who wasn't really into edibles, it was around the holidays, we were gonna put on the Santa Claus and watch it with some edibles. And I was like, now, common mistake. You feel like you're not feeling anything. You take another one. I was like, and you're taking too much. She's like, oh, okay, whatever. And we both took one, enjoying ourselves. She's like, I feel like I should take another one. And I was like, you probably should. She's like, no, like I'm feeling something. It's just not that much. I'm gonna feel it. I'm gonna take another one. I was like, okay. And I don't know, 45 minutes later, uh, she's acting like it's the best movie she's ever seen. The Santa Claus is fine as a Christmas movie. She could not stop laughing though. She's like, "Fuck, this movie is so hard. This is the funniest shit I've ever seen." And I was like, "It's really not. It's fine. It is what it is." But she she couldn't stop laughing for the entire duration. Every little joke, every little funny scene was just sent her off. She had the best time. So I know that's not always it's not always a good thing when you take too much. So sometimes, you
It's
know.
it's like it's the classic rookie mistake. You
Mhm.
gotta you gotta respect the edible, or it'll humble you
Mhm.
real fucking quick. You know
Right.
what? One of my wildest stories, bro. This was a couple years ago. I had this homemade brownie that a friend gave me, and he swore it was only like 50 milligrams. And I mean, I'm like, whatever. What reason do I have not to think that, right? And if you heard me a minute, like at that point in time, a couple years ago, 50 was my that would be my normal, dose.
Mhm.
And so I thought, no big deal. I got this, so I ate the whole thing. Fast forward like an hour later, I'm on the couch watching Rick and Morty. Suddenly, I can't feel my legs. I'm convinced
Well,
that I have lost all control of my lower half. Like I'm freaking out, thinking like I'm going to be paralyzed for life. Turns out it was just that high. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, I was on one with the couch, and that's why I always tell people you start low and go slow. But I'm pretty sure that was like 100 milligram. Right? That wasn't no 50 milligram. I know my 50 milligrams,
oh yeah, as a
bro.
wedding
That was
present,
just woo.
I got some baked goods from a friend in California. Shout out to Danny. And he was like, "Hey, I think you're really gonna enjoy these." And I kind of like forgot about it. Like a friend ended up taking it home. He's like, "Hey, I'll just keep these at my house," and forgot about it for a little while until the Super Bowl came up, and it was Chiefs, 49ers, but not like the most recent one, like a few years before that. And my friend was like, "Oh, hey, like your wedding present edible thing is still here. Like I kept it in the freezer, like it's still fresh. You want to have some?" I was like, absolutely. And the entire game, I'm holding on to the couch, convinced I'm gonna fly off if I don't anchor myself down. I don't know how much was in there, but it was one of my like top 5 most highest moments. It was just like this game's going on, focus on the game, focus on not flying away. We'll be all right.
That's what you got to do, though. When you
Uh,
when you finally realize, there comes a point when you're that high that you realize this is because of the edible, right? It's something
mm,
it's what I ate, and that's when you
right,
just have to calm down and realize you're only high. You know what I mean?
right.
Like when felt like I was paralyzed, it finally hit me, and I'm like, bro, that was a fucking not 50 milligram edible. That's what. I was like, I just gotta chill out, calm down, you know what I mean, and move on. But
Yeah, reminds me of police officers who smoked some evidence and had to call 911 because they thought they were going to die. You ever heard that?
uh, I've heard
It's
other people, not police. I've heard people,
no, it
calling
was
in.
yeah, it's two police officers like, hey, let's try this, and like just not ready for the strength of whatever they confiscated.
We used to live back when I lived at home with my parents when I was young. Directly across from us was a police officer of the city, and he was like I don't know, corporal or something. He wasn't like a beginner, but he wasn't like chief or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He used to have parties every weekend. And it was always evidence. It was evidence party. Well, there would be so many people in and out, and we knew. Nobody ever say we couldn't prove it, but what else you know what I mean? Every weekend you having a party, and he would bust all our friends, and everything else was weed and everything. And all of a sudden, he's partying it up over his house. So,
Yeah.
one of my best experiences with some edibles, though, man, I had some THC infused popcorn, and I was watching Blade 2049, Blade Runner 2049, and the visuals, the soundtrack, the whole atmosphere just blended perfectly with like mellow high from the popcorn. I was like inside the movie. That's the beauty of edibles. Enhance your experience. Like you said, your wife thought Santa Claus was like the best movie ever created.
No, my first experience. So I was out in Denver about 6 years ago, and Colorado was one of those first states to legalize recreational use. And I was like, well, I'm here. I'm on like a business trip. I got some downtime. Why don't I see like what the local dispensary is? And I walked down, and what I saw, it was really beautiful. You saw people of every race, gender, age, like, they're all walks of life ready to get whatever the dispensary offers. And then I walk in, and everyone's so knowledgeable and nice. And I got some edibles, and I pop one in, and I start walking back to my hotel room, and it was a mile or two away, down like a really nice downtown area. And when I get back up there, I'm on like one of the top floors, and the Rocky Mountains are just like right there, and just really an enhanced experience of seeing like some like real beauty out there. Reminded myself, don't take too much, don't because I was still kind of new to it at the time, but it was a pretty nice experience.
Did you when you were out there? Did you go to Pikes Peak?
No, I just stayed in like a 5 block radius or something.
I used to have to go out there all the time for work, and Pikes Peak's awesome. They have donuts on top of the mountain, very top of the mountain. You drive in, it can be sunny and nice at the bottom. By the time you get to the top, it can be snowing. Those donuts that are made up there are special because they're made at that altitude, so everything is different. And when I say they taste completely different than any donut you've ever had, they taste different than any donut you've ever had in your life. They're amazing. So next time you ever go out, you got to go to Pikes Peak and go try one of the donuts.
I've always wanted to go back out on like to vacation or something. Because I didn't have like a car, like, or we're supposed to stay close to our hotel.
Yeah, they had Garden of the Gods. That's nice if you like hiking in nature. You walk through it. It's some good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Especially on some
like
edibles. See, I couldn't do it. I was with the government, so I couldn't have it, even though we knew it was there. But I'd like to go out there now, get some edibles, and go out there to Pikes Peak. I couldn't imagine being on top of Pikes Peak with some edibles.
Yeah.
We walked out like on the like we parked on the side of the road at one point, walked like as far out as we could before it drops off. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine. I been doing some hiking at Sugarloaf Mountain, which is, I don't even think technically a mountain. It's like 900 something feet, but it's still a great view. But nothing compared to the Rockies or everything they got out there.
One way you have the Rockies, and the next area way you look, here's like nothing.
So if you do eat too much, which as we've been talking about, common mistake, there's a couple things you can do. Hydrate. You want to sort of flush your system. Eat something nutritious meal to, get some more nutrients back in your body. I've even heard light exercise. If you forget your legs exist, that might be a little tough. But
when you can't move, talk about couch lock.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my big thing is I'm gonna sleep it off. If I have too much, I generally get tired anyway. So now it's like I'm just gonna not exist for a little bit and wake up feeling better. Certainly wake up feeling better than a night out drinking. So.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna have a hangover at least. And like you said, hydration is key. Make sure you have plenty of water on hand, and if you do end up taking too much and feel uncomfortable, like I said, remember, it'll pass. Just try to stay calm, drink water, eat something. Like Paul said, distract yourself with some type of activity or a show or whatever. Yeah. Solid tips. And let's talk about some of the varieties of edibles out there. It's not just brownies anymore, right? I mean, what are some of the more interesting edibles that you came across?
I've seen like gummy worms. I've seen chocolates. I think one was baked into like a type of sourdough bread. Probably was the most unique I've seen. Where I talked earlier about wheat infused butter and baking with that. There's a guy I know who has like a nice like sourdough starter, like it's kind of like his thing. And he put infused it with cannabis and just tastes like bread. You're having dinner and then you're like feeling good. But what about you? What kind of you talked about popcorn, which is interesting, I thought.
Yeah, popcorn. I mean everything. You have everything now. You have drinks, cannabis infused drinks, which we had one on our show before, High 9, THC infused drink, and I think we're gonna have Franz back at some point here soon because he's done released a whole new lineup of drinks. So drinks is another one. I really like the drinks. I really like the Keef Cola that you can get at like the dispensary. I think that's just great, but the only downside, I wish they could make it a higher dose because it's only 10 milligram. But
yeah, at the resort I was at Wintergreen, for some reason I thought weed was not legal in Virginia, but they were selling these Mountain High 2 milligram seltzer waters, which is like
seltzer water is another one.
It was very refreshing. 2 milligrams ain't nothing though.
Right. Well, it might be for somebody that has never had any type of form of THC. You know what I mean? That could really do it because you got to think there's also those shitty, synthetic edibles that they throw out there with that Delta 8 shit that, can really fuck somebody up and put them off to any type of edible. So people don't be taking that shit. And none of that stuff's good for you. Just like those synthetic mushroom chocolates. And that's a whole other topic. They're not any of those. No. But yeah, the water. One thing I'm really excited to try, and this is actually a local company in Maryland, Soil Co. out of Pasadena. They just started making freeze-dried edibles. And I love some freeze-dried candy, bro. I love some, and so I really want to try some. They're going to send me some.
You said Soil Co.?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, shout out to Soil Co. then.
Foxwell and Michael. Yeah. Great people. They started off, they also in DMV Genetics, that DMV Genetics, a seed company. So they have that too.
Yeah.
So they've been doing a lot of stuff. He has a huge farm, a huge cannabis farm, that's, like full legit. Yeah, they just started making freeze-dried edibles. So, yeah, besides that, man, I said the normal chocolates, your gummies, your Nerds ropes. You know what I mean? I love some Nerds ropes.
Oh, yes.
Those are a little bit harder to dose. They tell you what, like, so much is so much, but in the end, is the THC really spread out in those? I mean, I know how to make them now, so I know how they work. But other than that, man, I make my own can of butter, so I make sourdough bread. I got my starter from a guy who owns Twin Bears Bakery in Frederick. Do you know Twin Bears Bakery?
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, he just actually opened up a new shop. So I got that. It's like a 1,000-year-old starter from France is what this starter is. So
wow.
I like making my own lemon blueberry crumb muffins and using the butter out of those.
Sounds delightful.
So, yeah. I'll tell you, it's exploded. The edibles market's exploded in recent years. You've got, like I said, your standard gummies and chocolates, but I've seen everything, even hot sauce. I've seen the cannabis-infused hot sauce and honey. And don't forget, one thing I'd really like to try that I want to check out is those fancy cannabis-infused dinners that private chefs are doing. You get your full meal. Everything you eat is cannabis from, and so I really want to try one of those.
So much if it's a full course.
Well, everything's real minor, you know what I mean?
Sure,
it's all,
yeah.
They know how to dose it perfectly. You get to pick your menu of how much milligram, it's like full on experience. And I think it's like $150, but it's a full course dinner with THC, it's all cut, private chef cooked. So I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Absolutely.
I actually recently tried some THC infused coffee, which was an interesting experience. Talk about a buzz.
Yeah, a little bit of caffeine though with
yeah. That's the thing with the High 9. That's what he originally came out with, was they were all caffeine drinks, like energy style drinks with THC in it. and so many people requested non-caffeine version. That's what he just released, and released a few new flavors. But let's not forget too, man, about CBD edibles. They offer a lot of benefits without that high.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, they're
Absolutely.
great for people looking for just relaxation or pain relief without the psychoactive effects. I found CBD gummies really help for like managing anxiety.
Yeah,
So,
I work out a lot, and I find that I'm injuring myself more. I don't know if I'm just getting older or not doing things right, but when I have the CBD gummy, sometimes infused with THC as well, something to get the hybrid.
yep,
My joints I don't feel it as much. I feel that I can go longer sometimes on it. Um, it provides, I think, a more healthy alternative than some NSAID or prescription pain medication. Um,
absolutely.
so if you look at something like ibuprofen, like Motrin, Tylenol, Aleve, um, those are all things that you can overdose on. Like there's a toxicity level that's not like outrageous. It has damage for your liver. So I work with people and I'm known where they're just in like kind of a chronic pain, like a constant 4 out of 10 or something, and it's just ibuprofen 3 times a day. Or you see some of the commercials that used to be on, it's like I take 2 every 2 hours or something like that. Is this so many pills? When
Yeah,
CBD does not come with any of those negative side effects on your body, your liver, your kidneys, things like that. So
absolutely. I ain't touched Advil or nothing like that. I started taking edibles or gum, even just smoking. You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
cannabis, period. Um, It's a great point. Edibles aren't a one size fits all. It's all about finding what works for you. Some people prefer the gradual onset of a low dose gummy, while others might enjoy the instant hit, of a fast acting like tincture. That's another thing. Like those elixirs. Have you had any of those elixirs?
no, but
I have
I've
some of
wanted to.
those. I had the cherry lemonade. It was good. I have one I haven't even opened yet, so I got them. I got them to try. But let's not forget about microdosing too, man. Small controlled amounts. You can enjoy the benefits of cannabis CBD without getting, you know, too high. So I think
Yeah,
it's
sometimes you just want a little bit. I think that the Mountain High drink that I got at the skiing resort was sort of a small dose to enjoy some of the nature while not like falling down a mountain and
absolutely.
becoming incapacitated. So I can, I guess, understand it now. But
I hope they don't sell those during ski season because that would be.
it was just a little market that was associated with it was like an Exxon station really, and they had like a market that was, so it was like a little bigger and like a bakery and stuff. And I just saw these drinks with the alcoholic ones, and I was like, oh,
Gotta try it.
I tried this. Yeah,
Like I said, man, microdosing is great for when you just want a little buzz without going like full on couch lock or, just to space. But it's also especially useful for things like social events, creative projects, and gaming. Speaking of, what how do you think edibles pair with gaming?
I think I would prefer them over like a smoking a bowl or a joint or something. And the reason I say that is because you get that longer high, and depending on how much you've dosed, it doesn't like you sort of get the gradualness of it. Where I've certainly played a game, started it sober, took an edible, and then feel it kind of helping myself get more immersed inside the game over a period of time, instead of just like boom, you're high with something that you would smoke. So
Right.
yeah, similar
It's also
thoughts or
easier
yeah.
too,
Mm-hmm.
because you got to think if you have a joint, which is what I really like. Joints are like my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or some people prefer blunts, or like you said, if you have a bong or a bowl, even a vape, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to take away from gaming to grab something.
Yeah.
So if you're competitive or anything, edible might be the way to go. But for me, I think it really depends on the game and the dose. For me, a low dose edible can enhance the immersion. And when I say low dose, for me, a low dose is like 25 milligram.
Right.
You know what I mean? It can enhance, the immersion in the story, like Elden Ring, Black and
Mm-hmm.
Myth Wukong. I haven't played it yet, but I can just imagine. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't recommend it for like competitive multiplayer. Like if I'm playing COD and stuff, reaction times just not the best. So I think they have their place, and I think everything has its place, of course. But I mean, overall, fuck, give me an edible any day playing gaming. You know what I mean? And I'll probably smoke a joint right along with it. Just, if I get to that point, gaming's supposed to be meant to relax you, but if you play things like Call of Duty and whatever,
I'm sure I'm not the only one who started sweating during a game because you're just so locked in.
I learned the hard way trying to play Fortnite after those brownies. Spoiler alert, I didn't get to Victory Royale. It's my reaction time, Yeah. I think for chill games like Animal Crossing or Journey or Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Light dose, can really enhance the experience.
Absolutely. So, certainly know the Stardew Valley one by experience, but
absolutely. But yeah, man. So I think they all have. I mean, depends on what you're going to do with it, how much you take. It's all about the dosing. Everything's about dosing.
That's why
if you don't know, go slow. That's a good saying. I just made that up on the spot. If you don't know, go slow.
I trademarked that, That one leveler that was doing 100 milligram indica.
That's need to be friends.
Right. What? Because I usually, if I'm gonna level up while I'm gaming, is I'm gonna have a sativa to have sort of the more mind expansive, doesn't slow me down as much kind of experience.
Or is it really sativa though? I wonder just how many, you know what I mean? These companies are marketing them indica, sativa. I hate even saying those terms. I'm not trying to take us on a whole other topic, but seriously though, think about it. I figure 95% of what the dispensaries in our area are selling, at least, right? Are hybrid. Not either.
That's what they most say, yeah. Hybrid, or like a sativa hybrid, indica, whatever it leans more to. So that's why I just try a bunch of different things. And I was like,
right,
how does this affect me? How does, this certain doses, certain other products, different ways, vehicles, whatever. But
did you ever have any of those Bubba's baked goods from any of the dispos? Did you ever try any of those?
No.
They're good. They're good.
So it's like local around here.
And they'd probably be good for you. They probably like your dosage wise. Probably good for you. They make like chocolate chip muffins. They make cookies. They make snickerdoodle cookies. They make everything, and they come in it too. And they're not cheap. So you want to usually try to buy them when they have like an edible sale. You know what I mean? Like the dispensaries do, and they're good, but they're only 10 milligrams each. So for me, I have to spend $30 just to get a whole. There's only 5 in a thing, I think. So you're getting 50 milligrams total. So I'd have to spend a lot to get, but they're good. You can't taste any of the, that weed flavor. That's another thing too, man. With some edibles,
some of those
edibles can be made differently. It depends on how they make them.
I've noticed the gummies, like some of the candies, they have sort of like a weed aftertaste. But some of the chocolate, some of the baked goods I've had are a little bit of a just like you're just eating chocolate, like you're just having a brownie, a muffin, or whatever.
Yeah, some of those gummies have that real bitterness after the fact. But like you had mentioned, those Encore chocolates, I've never had an issue with anything with them. Yeah. Another one that I never had an issue with, I can't remember the name, but they make like a cookies and cream candy bar that you break off. That one was really good too. Diesel Bub. That's it.
Oh man.
Local dispensary.
Yeah, I have a few around me, but I've just gone back to like the first one that I went to, and I get the Curaleaf, I think is
Dude, they're the worst.
They're the worst? Oh no.
In my opinion, out of the whole area. No.
Well, damn, I have to check out some other ones.
In our area, Sweet Buds is number one, and you can probably do any poll on Facebook, and Sweet Buds will be number one. G Leaf is number 2. Green Goods on 40 is number 3. And then Curaleaf. Curaleaf's too expensive, dude. They don't ever have a variety of stuff. Like they keep the same stuff, and that's it. Or you go to G Leaf, like you on their website right now, and go to G Leaf and look at their medical menu for edibles. Anything under the sun. But Sweet Buds has the better selection of flower. G Leaf has the edibles. G Leaf has all the best edibles. Sweet Buds has the best flower and concentrates. If you like that. But Curaleaf, dude, we've tried so many times. Their customer service has just been shitty. I mean, it's slow. They make it like it's like, dude, Sweet Buds. Go down there, man. Jesse will have you in and out in like 5 minutes.
I live very close to Sweet Buds.
You know what I mean? You don't even have to go in now. You just order online and just pull in a parking spot and they'll bring it right out to you.
That's what I do with Curaleaf.
G Leaf has has their weekly specials. Every day is different. They usually have an edible day, which is like Tuesdays or Thursdays or something. I don't
Damn, I
remember.
gotta expand my horizons then.
It's usually like 30% off all edibles. So you can
Mhm.
get like, try everything and spend, next to nothing. And they already have good prices. So they just don't have a good selection of flower. That's the worst thing about it. They don't have a good selection of flower to me. It's all G leaf flower or, what's that? District cannabis. That's pretty much it. But either way,
Yeah.
they have the best edibles selection. That's where I get all the drinks, all the different stuff, all the crazy stuff.
Damn. Well, yeah, I appreciate the recommendation.
Yeah, Cureleaf only has a few minor selection compared to everybody else. Oh, I same place right by Wawa, right? The one right by Wawa.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's one I went to. Yeah.
No way. That's dude, they're the worst. Sorry, Cureleaf, y'all. It's not. You learn from G Leaf and Sweet Buds. Sweet Buds runs this thing, though. I think they're just awesome. They're great. Customer service to everything.
I saw early on when it was legalized that Sweet Buds, the line was out the door, and with Cureleaf I didn't have to wait at all, and so it's just like but maybe that's why it's like people like, nah, this is the good place to be.
That also brings me to another Fingerboard Farms.
Mm-hmm.
Fingerboard Farm Market, they make a lot of edibles now, and they make tinctures that we keep on hand at daytime and at nighttime. It's just CBD. That's all it is, straight CBD. The drops of tinctures, dude, it's the best shit. One for nighttime if you want to go to sleep, a couple of drops under your tongue, or daytime if you just want to focus and do everything. And they just released a lot of new gummies too, so I have to try those out. I haven't tried their gummies because they just came out.
Oh wow!
Another one.
Well, it certainly is a lot of variety.
Definitely. Well, levelers, we're coming up on our time, but before we do, Paul, why don't we do a recap of our edible adventures? I think one is edibles hit differently because of how the THC is metabolized, and it creates a more potent THC, 11-hydroxy THC. So, two, remember, if you don't know, go slow. Clean it up. And if you don't know, go slow when it comes to dosing. And always know the potency. Always try to know the potency of what you're consuming, because you can go from a good time to a very bad time, thinking you don't have any legs, it ain't going to move. Matter if you don't know what is going on. If you're expecting it, you're probably going to have a good time. But when you don't know, it's not.
I've lost my legs a few times. Yep, no, I know exactly what that's like.
Right? Like Paul said, stay hydrated. Remember, it'll pass if you do overdo it. It'll just take some time, because they can last a lot longer. And there's a wide world of edibles out there now for anybody. I mean, you can pretty much pick your poison on how you want to intake THC nowadays. No longer is it just brownies and cookies. It's water, hot sauce, butter, anything you can think of nowadays. Shots, elixir shots. Then consider how they might pair with your gaming sessions. You know what I'm saying? Don't do too much if you're going to play competitive. But remember, levelers, the key to a good edible experience is to respect the edible. Right, bro? Know your limits. Like I said, I can take an 80 and I'll be fine. If I give Paul an 80, well, he might lose his legs. But what do you say, man? What's your final thoughts?
Yeah, I think just if you're considering trying edibles, start slow. Remember that it affects everybody different. Don't rush into another one if you don't feel anything after the first dose. And because what we advocate here, we advocate for good vibes and good times, not a bad trip where you lose your legs.
Words to live by. That's all the time we have for today, levelers. Be sure, share your edible adventures with us. HighLevelChronicles.com or at HLC Podcast 420 on social media, along with your own thoughts, experiences. What do you want to hear from us in future episodes? But until next time, stay leveled up. We are out.
Thanks for listening to High Level Chronicles. See you next time.
Thank you again for listening to High Level Chronicles. Please help us grow by leaving us a review wherever you listen to us at, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, Alexa. Your reviews will help our show grow and help us reach a broader audience. Also, we are always looking for new show sponsors, so please reach out if you're interested. You can hit us on our social media or email us info@highlevelchronicles.com. Thanks again for listening.